In this lesson we're going to look at sequences and how to denote a sequence at higher level. So on the screen here you can see a very basic sequence with circles and squares and triangles. This is an ordered sequence of objects, and you can see quite clearly the next sequence would be a triangle. When we talk about sequences we're mainly going to focus with numbers though. If you see dots at the end of a sequence, this just means the list keeps going on forever, something like our number system or any other sequence that you might see with the dots at the end. Very famous sequence here, the Fibonacci sequence, adding two terms to get the next one, and so on, can be seen in nature. We're going to look at this idea here at the bottom. This is how to write out something called a recurrence relation. We'll look at that more in detail in the next lesson. A new way to denote sequences is to use this subscript notation. So for first number we use U of 1, second number in the sequence U of 2, third number U of 3, and so on. And for any number in the sequence we use U of n. We can define these sequences with a formula. So the first one is 1 here, the second one is 2, and so on. And the formulas get more complicated as the sequences. The main idea of a formula is to work out any term in the sequence using that formula. Okay, moving on to this topic, which is called recurrence relations. Now, a recurrence relation is another way to define a sequence. Reading this bit, it says it's a rule which defines each term of a sequence using the previous term. So you need to know the previous term to get the next one with a recurrence relation. The notation we're going to use here is this notation here. So this would be U of 1, and the next one would be U of 2, or so on. Or we could have U of 3 here, and U of n plus 1 would be U of 4. So this is your starting term, and this is the next term. So to get the next term in this sequence, you basically multiply by 3. U of 0 is the starting value, so the first U of 0 is 4. So we'd do 3 times 4 to get the next one would be 12. This is the sequence produced by this recurrence relation. Multiply 4 to get the next one, you get 12. Multiply by 3 to get the next one, 36, and so on, multiplying by 3. This here can also be written like this. If this is the first term, then the next term is U of n, instead of having U of n here and then U of n plus 1. An example below, if we deposit £100 and get 4% interest per year, the balance at the end of the year would be 104% of what it was at the start of the year. That's just using your basic percentages from Intermediate 2 or National 5. So the recurrence relation to denote this would be to multiply by 1.04 every year. So the recurrence relation would be U of n plus 1 equals 1.04 U of n. Starting value would be £100.